I wanted to show off this Aquatic Life RODI system. It's really nice and it's twist in. If you're gonna have a reef tank, you got to have a good RODI system. And this right here is gonna take care of my water quality. It's gonna get anything that the city water can't get out, and it's gonna save me, most importantly, time and energy from lugging around buckets of water from the vehicle to the fish store or to one of those water mills that they have at the gas stations or whatever, because it's going to be right here at my house and I can make my own water, and all I have to do is turn the water valve on when I'm ready to go, and that's it. Which is really important because having a big tank, you have big water changes and big auto top offs. And just the water changes alone, 25 gallons plus a month, uh, that's a lot of water. Then also, keeping in account my auto top off, I run through 20 gallons of water every 2 weeks. And the water that you top off with is, of course, RODI water. I have the dual DI stages right here, and then I also got a cool little meter, and the meter is going to read the in side before it hits the DI, and then once it hits the outside of the DI, which is always going to make you hit 0 TDS or total dissolved solid. So this is a really nice compact RLDI system. Now, what I'm thinking about doing with this RODI is running it straight to my auto top off reservoir. That way, when my 20-gallon auto top off reservoir is close to empty, I'll just go ahead and flick a switch, and then it'll go ahead and fill up. It'll fill up by itself with a float valve. Without a float valve, there's a risk of having your auto top off or your RODI just spilling over. And you don't want to spill over RODI water because it takes about 5 gallons to make 1 gallon of RODI water. My wastewater, though, I'll be running my wastewater from the RODI not into the sink, but into a container or something like that where I can use that water to go ahead and water the yard, water some trees, repurpose that water for something else. That way, I'm using all my water and not just wasting it down the drain. So if you don't have an RODI system, highly recommend the Aquatic Life RODI, reverse osmosis deionization system. They have great customer service, and I had this system for a while. I just haven't set it up yet, and the reason why is because I misplaced a blue clip. I reached out to Aquatic Life. I talked to Mike from customer service, helped me out a lot, and he ended up sending me several blue clips, right? And I only needed one blue clip. So the fact that he took care of me, no questions asked, I'm really appreciative of that. And I'm going to go ahead and get this RODI set up. We'll continue that in a different video. But as you can see, I only asked for one, and I got like 5 blue clips. So that's really cool. Now let's get into the 180 update. It's not always going to be pretty here. As you can see, the water is super cloudy. That's because I've been doing work. What kind of work have I been doing? I've been doing some fragging. I've been doing some hitting up that Aptasia with that calc washer paste. That's why some of this rock, it looks really white. I got water drops all over the glass. I did some rearranging of the rock because I was trying to set it back the same way, but I couldn't. That always happens. You do a little modification or whatever, and things just don't go back the way it was. With the rock, though, you can see that I was able to get some of those daisy polyps, most of them, and just frag them off. Actually, I didn't even frag them off. I used a wire brush to them outside, and I just started going to town on them, trying to take them off the rock. Probably in a couple of weeks, you're going to see more of the daisy polyps coming back. You can see I fragged up quite a bit of things, different zoas, mainly what I frag up anyways. And we're going to get those into the 20-gallon tank. But for now, I just move them out of the space of the wave makers, so that way that the polyps don't fly off and it's the best way to frag anyways. And the reason why it's the best way to frag like that is because if you put them off to the side, your polyps aren't going to be hit with the flow, and it allows your super glue to cure. Another thing right here is my anemone has been touching this acan. I have some green and purple acans that were doing really, really good. They're growing really well, but it just got destroyed by this anemone. You can see the Hollywood Stunner really didn't get too much damage, but it did after time. And my acans right here got destroyed. They were full. You can see the skeleton right there. There's a little bit of it still left, and I just didn't take it down. I said, I'll do it, I'll take care of it, and I never did it, and I lost quite a bit of it. But since I was doing some tank maintenance, I went ahead, took advantage of the maintenance, and decided I was going to pull that acan colony off, which is more not like a frag now. Downstairs in the sump, since I was messing around there, I put a filter sock on there. Hopefully it will clean up the tank and clear it up. But I'm not always going to have my tank nice and clean. So that's why I show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Santa Monica Filtration Skimmer, doing really good. You can see all that crap on there. I need to go ahead and clean it out and get that done. So I'll be good. And I also need to empty out my skimmer head, clean it out so that way it doesn't stink. Let's go ahead and put the top back on and move back up to the top. I got a bunch of zoas here growing out like crazy. I guess that's what happens when you leave things alone. I really haven't been messing around with it. I don't move my corals around too much. Just set up on those discs and leave them alone and just, watch them day to day. Looking back at the videos though, from one video to the next, you can see a lot of coral growth. Right there, my Sunny D's. I need to go ahead and frag some of those. Have somebody asking me for them that's local. And I'm going to see if I can get a few heads of that fragged and move some into the 20-gallon frag tank now. The last video I did, I broke down my 40-gallon and moved everything over to the 20-gallon. And I'm liking it a lot better, which I'll give you guys an update on that. I cleaned up a lot of corals and going from there. One thing that I've noticed is I don't have so many big turbo snails around. I need to stop by the LFS. Actually, I'm going to use that as an excuse to the wife so I can stop by the LFS and pick up some snails. A little bit of top-down action, which is my favorite. The T5s have just turned off. I even like it better when the T5s are on and the LEDs. It just looks cooler when I'm up there doing maintenance and fragging. My tank height is actually pretty tall. It's about over past head level. It's not like you're bending down because this tank is up high on my stand the way I like it. But it is nice getting these top-down views. I have to get a freaking ladder, climb up it to be able to reach into my tank or frag and do things like that for maintenance. So can't really tell, but the top downs, they're awesome because you can see the green Monteporas, there's frog spawns, all the zoas, how they're growing, how much they spread. And that Xenia in the next video, you will not see most of that Xenia. I will get it and I'll chop it up and it'll just come back fierce like if nothing. So be careful about where you place your corals. The torches really haven't been keeping it in check at all. They just keep growing. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short, guys. Hope you have a good one. Like and subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. And you guys have a good one, man. Laters.